All right. Oh, we have to do this way? Okay, so live streams can only go in this mode. Okay, guys. Let's see how this works. All right, what's up, boys? This will be my first live stream. I'm doing this as a test to see if I can save myself some time on the uploads and some storage on my phone. Welcome to how you guys doing? I don't really expect anybody to join the live so I didn't tell anybody, but I want to answer Samuel Green's question that he had emailed me about. I'm about to move soon, and I want to get as many of these little cheat chats in with you guys, before I leave as I can. I don't know exactly how this is going to go down. Anybody who has questions or wants me to answer their questions like I would in all the other videos, hit me up in any of the comments. I always respond. You can also email expertmovement@gmail.com. Okay, so I only took some quick short little notes of what he had. It said it was a long email. So one of his issues was basically, there was 3 questions that he wanted me to comment on. One of them was, him and his teacher, he finds that a lot of the people who come into the Tai Chi community to train, they don't really want to train. A lot of them, they say they want to come in and, they want to learn Tai Chi, they want to learn the real stuff, and then you start treating them slightly rough or make them sweat a little bit and they start complaining they want to run away. Most people don't like that. So it's a big problem, and it's there's a lot of angles to this problem. First of all, humans by design are going to run away from stress and things that are painful. Even when you're training people who work out, right? Most of the form dysfunction comes because the natural response to want to run away from stress and pain. So a lot of people get injured weightlifting because even when they have great form, there comes a point where the body starts to look for an easy way out, and that easy way out creates a mechanical dysfunction. That's when they get hurt, right? It's just human nature. Now, when you bring that into the general population, I don't care what modality it is. It could be weightlifting, running, karate, Tai Chi. Majority of humans are lazy. Okay, the majority of humans are underachievers. Okay, the majority of humans are going to be looking for an easy way to get maximum results. If you can give them a magic pill from Kung Fu Master, they're going to do it. All right, most people don't want the real shit. That's why most schools can't survive anymore. Because you have this cultural issue where people are lazy to begin with. Then you have marketing issues. People go to market to the laziness. Okay, it's a serpent eating its tail. But in Taiji, it's even worse. And I want to make this clear. I'm not against people using Tai Chi for health and to teach Tai Chi for health. That's not the problem. The problem is when you're saying you're teaching Tai Chi for health and you're teaching delusion. This is my first slide. Let me see if I can actually read this comment. Please elaborate why Chinese martial arts become so effective versus... Okay, I'm going to have to go back to that. I just want to go through, finish Samuel Green's responses, and then I'll take any of the questions. I'm going to see if I can go back to that. So I'll answer all your questions, I promise. Okay, just hold on to that thought, because I really have to stay on the topic. I have 3 questions to answer, and then after that, I'll answer anything you guys want, okay? So, we're dealing with an issue of lazy people, okay? But then on top of that, you have the culture of people selling bullshit to people and saying, oh, here's a magic pill, here's this, right? Like, look at in Tai Chi, Chen Mancheng's lineage, right? Chen Mancheng trained like a fucking animal. The guy was training until he couldn't walk. And then he comes to America and he starts to realize, well, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills if I train people how I was trained. Okay? And this is where you have to it's a hard road to play this game, and it really comes down to integrity and being able to figure out how to pay the bills, and that's why when I teach, I always teach in segments where I have the people, whenever I even had a real school. Okay, first of all, I didn't have the problem that most people have always. I weed them out because I don't give a shit. When I opened classes, I didn't care about making mad money. Right? If I was keeping the doors open and getting a little bit of money on the side, that was my mentality back in the days. And the reason for that is because my master told me I'm responsible for the lives of my students. When they come to me, I can't, if they go on the street and I teach them something that's not going to work and they die, it's my fault. If I give them false confidence in some shit that doesn't work, it's my fault. So I make sure that I test them and I treat them I treat them so rough that all my students who went to the military afterwards thought that boot camp was fun. Okay, so that's how I'm pretty mean. I'm a different animal, but because of that, the people who do stay, who are the lazy ones of my groups, are a lot less lazy. Even when I'm training in other gyms, I tend to bring the laziness out of people. But I'm trying to get back on topic. I'm sorry about that. So I don't really have that problem of dealing, because he was asking me, do I have the problem teaching people who are like not wanting to work out and be lazy? And the answer is no, because first of all, people see me and they already assume that like me, that I'm not going to play that shit. Even I don't care how old they are. I've done seminars. I did one seminar that I was invited by the Midtown Taiji Association at City Wenchun, and I had a mixed age group. I don't care how old they are. I don't care what their group is. When you're in my class, we're dealing with this. If you don't like it, don't come. You know what I mean? Some people don't have that ability. The other thing is trying to deal with the social stigma of this medical Qigong Tai Chi, right, and Park Tai Chi, and then this legendary that doesn't seem to exist martial art Tai Chi, and then you have these assholes who are selling medical Qigong as some kind of like fancy martial art, or people like Adam, whatever the fuck his name is, who keeps talking about the Qi and the this and that, and saying he's basically, creating these bullshit stories and these make-believe things. It's just, we have a serious problem with delusion in the world in all aspects. So I do see the problem, but I don't have it because I don't teach martial arts like that for money. You understand? Like, I have my training business, and when I train people who are fighters, most of my clients who came to me in all these places are already established fighters, military guys, cops, sometimes, people who came to me specifically for that reason, that they want somebody who's been cut up and shot at and hit with bats and done all the bad stuff and has that experience to tell them, dude, that's not going to work. So I don't really have that problem. Now, people like your teacher, Sam, like, he's in that middle ground where he actually is training combat style, but he's still stuck in the middle of the community of Qigong thing. And that's a very difficult position to be in, and I understand the stress. So it's not much you can do about that. You have to accept it, and it's going to be a hard road to go otherwise. And when it comes down, if he was dependent on keeping the doors open, there's only so far you can go. So what I would suggest to him, and it sounds fucked up, but you should have separate classes that are completely separate groups. And your main group is an introductory group or a social adult daycare Tai Chi. And from there you hand pick, or you start to bring out the people who want to do the real stuff and create a separate class, an advanced class, or a combat class, or something like that that's separate. It's the only way you're going to be able to do it. It's just a hard road, okay? I'm really sorry about that. Now, he's also going to start doing sparring with Tai Chi. I'm really happy you're doing that. Big problem with the Taiji is that, for instance, let's go and talk with something that's in Taekwondo karate, right? You start off with basics, you start with form, okay? You have your basic sets, blah, 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 you're doing this stuff, yeah, okay, fine. Then you do something called one-step attacks. And all these people say, oh, this is bullshit, it's not real life. And the guy goes like this, and then he goes like this, and he punches, and he stands there, and you do your techniques, okay? Then after that, you go into what we call semi-free sparring, or three-step free sparring, where there's an attacker, he gets 3 moves, the defender gets 3 moves, and then immediately you switch. Then we go into free sparring, and then we go into hard contact free sparring, and then from there is when you say, okay, situational drill for combat or whatever, and then, God, hopefully you never have to get into a real fight. There's a staging system that prepares you from swinging the baseball bat at nothing, swinging the baseball bat at a static ball, swinging the baseball bat at someone throwing a pitch you know's coming, swinging the baseball bat at random pitches, and then swinging the baseball bat at the game. And this is what Tai Chi's missing, is that because of the social stigmas, nobody wants to do this systemic training that brings you from basic technique to combat readiness, because you have to do shit you don't want to do. You get bumped up, bruised up, pissed off, pissed on. It's not a good day. Nobody wants to do that shit, okay? So it's a hard road for us to clean up Tai Chi, all right? And it's a whole other fucking slew of problems. So I'm very glad to hear you're sparring, okay? It's very important. So this is going to lead to the next question of his, talking about root and dysfunction of root. So he was saying, when he's sparring some of these old people, or he's dealing with people, and saying that his root is always flat-footed, and is a feet, I'm trying to remember this correctly, excuse me, that a lot of these guys who do, Tai Chi, Wing Chun, things that have root, and talk about root, that they fight flat-footed. And is that the correct way? It is and it isn't. So I'm going to have to, this is where we get to a little detail. I'm going to explain to you what root really is and how it's applied in different systems. Okay? So root is what we consider in sports medicine is a closed kinetic chain. Okay? It's when I have a complete closed grounded circuit, a pressure circuit, from a contact point to the ground within my system, right? An open chain exercise, like for instance, we do a push-up or a bench press, right? If I keep my elbows down, this would create a closed link where I can push up from the floor from my feet. When my elbows out like this, you'll immediately feel that the shoulder disconnects from the spine and you're only moving with this quarter panel of your body. That's an open chain exercise versus a closed chain exercise. And you can feel the difference just by having a friend put your hand up like this and try to push him with your elbow up and try to push him with your elbow down. And you will immediately feel that by bringing your elbow out like this, once you create that pressure, this is a loop that's cut off from your spine, it doesn't hit the ground. You'll feel you're doing weird stuff with your body, right? This is a very natural thing. Can we create root with a bad alignment? Yes, but we're talking about just basic functional kinesiology. So bringing the elbow down is a good test for you to understand what that ground path is, okay? But what does it go to? To the feet. And I've explained this to you many times, that technically root is when you have a positive, negative, and ground channel coming to the floor. So positive is the big toe, okay? Negative is your ball, and the ground is your heel. So in most styles, in most athletic ability, you do not need to have your heels on the ground to have a circuit that's functional, right? I can be boxing, do taekwondo, and I'll be on my toes like this, okay? It allows me to move and spring really fast. I can still get all this mass and kinetic energy and all stuff like that, but I don't have a closed circuit root. So now when you're looking at these styles to create this really static, always grounded, always on the floor styles, these are all the Southern Chinese styles that are forcing you to be in tight spaces where people are in trapping range or trying to throw you. At that point, you should be flat-footed, right? This is one of the weaknesses of Wing Chun and Tai Chi, is that they don't know how to unground themselves. They've lost the sword stepping skill, okay? And people will say it's bullshit, I'm not even gonna deal with it. But the light body skill, right? To be able to disconnect from the root and almost float on purpose. They don't have that anymore. Okay, so his question was, is it wrong to be constantly rooted? And the question is yes and no. Tai Chi and Wing Chun in general, you always want to have one foot with a complete grounded circuit. Why? Because if I have that grounded circuit, when he runs into me, he's running into a fucking pole. Right? And a lot of my friends who do, high-level wrestler guys who play with me, there's always the same face. They run into me, it's like, boop, and they just get stuck and they fall to the ground like, not this shit again. Because when you have that circuit, they're hitting a pole. So that's the point of having this root thing, right? The problem is that it gets taken advantage of because, like you said, they're always flat-footed and always stuck. So we call it dynamic stability, and you want to have root that's functional and you can move it around and make it work for you. Okay, so I hope that's making sense. So the practical use of that, how do I explain this? It's so much better if I have a partner. I'm moving really soon, guys, so hopefully I'll be able to grab some people to throw around when I do these demonstrations. I'm really sorry about that. And I'm going to answer the question that's in the chat in a second. I'm almost done here. So how do we describe this root thing other than that? So in Taekwondo and Karate, how I was taught, which is what he's trying to get at, is we're mobile, and then I'm about to hit somebody. Let's just say I'm going to do a side kick. Can you see my feet because the stupid chat button's there? Okay. This will be even a better example. This thing is a traditional Korean side kick, right? Most people who throw kicks, they stay on my base leg. They'll stay on the ball of the foot like this, okay? And they're never grounded. Whereas in our style, at the moment of impact, we're gonna lock that foot down, okay? So that when he hits me, it's the same thing as Tai Chi root. It's the exact same thing. But the difference, after we make that contact, I'm going to unroot myself and get back into mobility. My slippers just came off, look at that. If that makes any sense. Doesn't matter what the kick is, okay? So Sam, I hope that helps. I hope it's a good explanation. If not, hit me in the comments and we'll get more to it. Let me see if I can figure out how to answer the questions here. This, guys. Okay. Please elaborate why Chinese martial arts takes so long to become effective, 5 to 7 years, versus boxing or BBJ, which in a year can make a person effective. Okay, that's a really good question. It's really easy to explain. There's 2 reasons. In the old days, okay, that wasn't the case. But right now, reason number 1, commercialization of money. Okay? The longer they keep you, the more they get paid. Second thing is the way society lives. 100, 200 years ago, people didn't have full-time jobs. And when they went to train, they trained and lived with the master. They would go live with the master and train every day. And generally, you get to first level expert after 2 years in any style. Okay? If you look, and this is why, and I mean this with respect, when I look at William C.C. Chen, he became a grandmaster after 2 years. I don't think he even completed 2 years of training with Chen Cheng. So he's a grandmaster. I trained for 22 years to get my master's degree in Taekwondo and karate. So it's slightly offensive when people are like, oh, who are you? Who the fuck are you guys? So I get it. But so you have the commercialization aspect of keeping things going and keeping you financially dependent on the system. And then generations later on, people don't even recognize that happened. Like originally in karate, there was only 4 belts. I think it was white, blue, red, black. I think because that was the only dye that they had to make color belts for. And then little by little, they added other colors because they had more dye. And then once you came to America, they started adding fucking tape because hey, we can get more money for tests. The longer we keep you, the more money we get. The next issue is that, especially in Chinese martial arts, the masters will purposely hold shit away from you, and they will hide the real technique from you. They do this on purpose, not even for the money. One, it's like, it's a power thing. Not everybody who's a master is a good person. Not only do they say, but they don't all have good intention. So you got to accept that, like, you know, the romanticization of masters and martial arts creates these people who become zealots, like these idiots who get stuck into these things and they're practicing techniques. And then you have the problem of people working and not being able to practice every single day. So they're training like once an hour, twice a week, or 3 days a week. I was training minimum 8 hours a week, minimum, for 15 years. Okay, so like my teachers' classes were 2 hours, 3 days a week, and we were expected to practice every single day. And then I had to teach on the weekends also. So that was from age 14 to 21. I did that. Okay, like, and I was private lessons. It was semi-private lessons. We had a very small, closed door school. So it's a little different. But after a year and 6 months, you should be combat ready for the average Joe. Okay, a year and 6 months is what it is. Is it because boxing and BBG are simple? No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's because of the order they're taught and the intent and end goal. Boxing has a lot of crazy things. Like, people think, okay, it's just this. No, boxing has it's a science. If you're not on the inside of boxing, like I was lucky enough to start boxing early and got to train people in boxing gyms and hang around like I don't want to bring people's names to it, but I was a trainer in the same ring with heavyweight champion guys. I got to see the shit. That's a whole other world of science that goes on there. And people think, oh wait, these guys are training their fucking ass off. If you're boxing, you have a history of people that are training, running 10 miles, hitting the back for an hour, going to sport. These guys are animals, okay? Jiu-jitsu guys who are trying to be UFC, Rose Gracie fuckers, they're training every fucking day like animals. You're comparing the cream of the crop, and you're not really giving it a real world analogy. But, on behalf to your point, why is it that the Tai Chi doesn't work? I'll explain to you why. During the Cultural Revolution, they killed all the goddamn masters, okay? And the ones who survived are like, fuck this, I ain't gonna do this shit, and they ran away. And they keep it in secret, and they yada, right? So you have this whole demise. And then you have the guys who want to hide it because they don't want you to hurt them, or they don't want to give up, whatever the fuck it is, right? Taiji has to be a hard style first. It's the wheel, okay? This idea of, oh, super soft, it's not like that. No, you're very welcome, but it's not like that, okay? And I'm going to explain to you how it was actually taught. It was a Shaolin style, right? All Shaolin styles are taught in a line. They're line drills, okay? When they would teach you ward off, you would start off with a standing posture. You'd hold the fucking posture for it until you get like blah, blah, blah. But then you do line drills like karate. Same as like basic white belt karate. Hoop, hoop, hoop. You would do that with Tai Chi. Ward off. Ward off. And you would practice it like you're trying to smash someone's fucking head in. Nobody does that. Okay? Roll back. Like you could do it like you're trying to smash someone's fucking head in. Okay? No one does it. That's the reason why. If you took Tai Chi with the outcome goal, and you look at the form of what it does, and what it says in the classics, dodging, stabbing, brushing, breaking, shitting on people, you gotta stay with, it's like the religion of Tai Chi has to be thrown in the fucking garbage. People like this Adam Misner fucker who are like selling this chi this and chi that when he knows it's fucking bullshit. That guy was lifting weights. I even heard he was taking fucking steroids. It could be your room or whatever. But let's be fucking real. Guy did a hard style first. Guy was lifting fucking weights, doing his fucking thing, blah, blah, blah. And it's bullshit. The chi, he knows it ain't no fucking chi. Ain't no fucking chi. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not saying that chi doesn't exist. Okay? I'm just saying that they're trying to romanticize just, forces in the body and make it fancy. It's just fucking stupid. But you have to think, okay, let's just say, like, my students in Tai Chi, if you look at how I have a couple of videos, me and one of my students was a Marine, tall guy like me, he's in the backyard. One from the Secrets of Fa Jing, in plain English of the video, and then the other one was something like the Chisa combat concept. If you watch how I explain that to him, my first lessons with people, when I teach them the very first lessons I teach them is, what does this do? I don't care if I'm teaching karate, boxing, combatives. When I show someone the technique, I show them what it looks like, I give them a description what it is, I let them feel it, and I tell them what it does. Okay? So that immediately the subconscious knows, this is for this. Okay? If I teach you ward off, and let's get the chi, and the root, and blah, blah, and then I put you down a line, I guarantee you walk in something, they push on that fucking, there's not gonna be nothing there. But if day one, I put you in ward off, and I say, okay, this is an object that has to stop somebody, this is how we're gonna do it. I teach you the feeling of the frame, and then I actually run into you a couple of times, and I threaten you. I make you feel threatened in your body, right? Where you feel, I'm coming at you, bro, and you have to do something with it. When you go into that form, for the rest of your life, ward off is not the same for you. It looks the same. Not the same. And this is why I always say to people, you can't tell who has this shit. It's very fucking dangerous. Because some little old dude, two old guys in the park, I've seen dudes that are like fucking pit bulls. This little guy like this fucking big, and you can feel it. He'll touch you and put his finger right through your body. Okay? So you just don't know who has this shit. And I think also the problem is there is this concept of, it's too dangerous to show to the regular public. And that was true 50 years ago. Okay? It's not true anymore. There's no secrets anymore. You understand? There's no secret. Everything's out. Okay? Ripping people's fucking faces off is out. You know what I mean? Breaking people's arms with fucking arm bars is out. There is no logical reason for any of the Tai Chi masters to be holding back the knowledge now. All they're doing is killing the history. There's no reason. All that bullshit about keeping the secret, killing moves. There's 150 fucking martial arts that are very effective, that are very easy to do, that are killing people. This is bullshit. It's bullshit. So that's one of the reasons why it takes so long now. It's just not one good answer. But in my opinion, you can fix your Tai Chi very quickly just by using common fucking sense. Just by using common sense. Oh, what does this do? I don't know. What could it do? I don't know. Someone's head's right here. Pow! Crack him in the fucking ear. Okay, roll back. Whack. Okay? You know what I mean? What's this? Bah! Pimp smack. Okay? Crazy chicken fighting. It's not difficult to understand. Dr. Yang Chengmin, check out his videos of how he explains Tai Chi and just listen to him talk about it and then see him do his form and see the power in that guy's hands. I mean, come on, bro. So, we have a lot of work to do to fix Tai Chi as a martial art, but I will also say, look at William Chen, how he does it, right? All he did was put boxing gloves on. Here we go. Here's our freaking William Chen Tai Chi boxing. Okay, there it is. Really fucking simple. It's not rocket science. So, it takes so long, to wrap that up, it takes so long to do, because A, people don't want to do things that are difficult. B, people want an easy way out. C, people want to make believe that they can beat people up without ever getting punched in the face. Okay? And nobody wants to live in reality. The reality is that fights are brutal, fights are fat, and fights are disgusting. Okay? And when you train, people say, oh, it doesn't look like that. It's supposed to. When I'm training a baseball bat swing, it's going to be perfect every single time. You're playing tennis, for instance, because it's more dynamic. You practice your swing perfectly. But But when someone throws a fucking ball at you 120 miles an hour, you're gonna dive like an idiot, and you're gonna look like a fucking retard. So these ideas all has to look certain. There's so many delusional thoughts that people have to get out of their fucking head. Okay? And then you have the issue where, with Tai Chi specifically, the harder styles of Tai Chi have been sportified, which is not bad. I want to make this clear. I'm not dissing the people who do Tai Chi for health. I'm not dissing the fucking people who do Tai Chi for sport. I'm dissing the people who do Tai Chi for health or sport who say that that's combat ready. I'm saying this again. Tai Chi for health's not the problem. Tai Chi for sport's not the problem. The problem is these fucking assholes who go around giving people false senses of security, thinking that that's just gonna work against somebody like me trying to rob you. Okay? You get a scary motherfucker like me, a crazy dude from Brooklyn, who's just drunk and pissed off, I'm gonna fuck you up. That ain't gonna work, bro. Okay? And I don't care if it's Tai Chi or your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu bullshit, it ain't gonna work on me. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna fucking cut your throat. I'm gonna fuck you up. Okay? That shit that works in the sport does not work in reality. Wing Chun is one of the worst at the ideology. I will say this though, at least Wing Chun starts off with the concept of actually striking people clearly. When they're making believe with their soft bullshit, at least they're making believe they're gonna punch somebody in the face and block something. For some fucking reason, Tai Chi's like, oh, there's no strikes in Tai Chi. It's all gracefully, and I'm like, motherfucker, there's a punch the crotch. In the form, it's called punch the crotch. So literally punch the motherfucker in the balls. Okay? That's literally the move in the Tai Chi form. Punch the balls. Okay? Like, kick. What are you kicking? Step up, deflect, parry, and punch. You're punching someone right in the heart. Okay? Like, what do you think this is, So I give the Wing Chun people who are weak more credit than the Tai Chi people who are weak, because at least their delusion is somewhat malleable to reality. I can much easier take someone who has shitty Wing Chun and give me them for 3 weeks, and I'll make them decent. Okay? I can bring out the animal in them. Tai Chi people, because the moves are so hidden and they don't have combat experience, they can't even figure out how to see the move for me to rip that out of them. You know what I mean? I have to literally empty everything. Whereas with Wing Chun, it's more about teaching them reality, okay, and how to adapt to reality. Both of these groups don't like to cross-train and play other people. Everybody from the Tai Chi community knows me. I don't give a fuck. You want to go? Well, however you want to do it. How do you want to play? I'll play by your rules. And there's a lot of people who I've gone and met up in private challenge matches and public challenge matches, and a lot of people who back me up. I don't care. Like, let's go. Let's find out. You know what I mean? People don't do that. And I'm not even saying like violently. A lot of it, most of my challenge matches in private were very sporting and very respectful. There's been a couple that wound up with people in the hospital, but there weren't many. Okay. But there was quite a few that were that rough. That some people got hurt, but we had a beer after. You know what I mean? So, but anyway. I'm too old for that shit now. Like follow the line and me still wants to play, Like, but I gotta simmer down because it's still inside me. But anyway, point being is that how Samuel is doing now, he's going and he's cross-training and he's sparring with people from other styles to see what works and what doesn't. How do I apply this shit? How do I adapt? How do I, and the reality is, be formless, there's no rules. The concept of training modality, of always being rooted and always being soft, is a modality of training. It's not for real life, and it's not in accordance with the Taiji symbol of the I Ching. It's not. Because you're saying that everything is emptiness and formless, and okay, fine, then you could be a wimp noodle, I'm just going to fucking kick you in the balls, and I'm going to take your shit. It's like... So, that's my opinion on it. Is that making sense? But you're right, like the Wing Chun people, they're pretty whack. I mean, another thing with the Wing Chun people, again, and I don't watch that many people's videos. I only see like clips here and there on my TV, because I don't watch TV. Okay, I'm either studying, training, or doing something, trying not to die. Okay, I don't waste my time. But Dominic Izzo, I've seen some of his videos where he's talking about this specific thing, and I'm gonna say this with respect. I do see the training faults in his movements also. Okay, because when you're stuck in that society of people and you don't have that forcing you to adapt it to the older ways, it's very difficult. You know, even though his stuff is real good. Okay, I mean this with respect, please. Don't get me. You know, I'm not trying to like. The guy actually does his shit. You know, it's legit. When you look at how these guys fight, they fight responding to a specific stimulus. I talk about this in my other videos. I don't know how many of you watched that one. I think it was the first time I knocked somebody out, and I got back into a corner by this huge fucking bulldog marine. I was a little kid, and I didn't know what to do until he picked up his hands. And when he picked up his hands, like my subconscious slipped, and like a different personality came up. I just blasted him in the face. This thing is the same as how when you look at Wing Chun guys fighting, they're so used to the stimulus of we're gonna do this, this, this at these angles that when someone just comes at them, they fall apart. Okay? Let me see what that comment was. Oh God, why is this? Wing Chun can become more of a religion application. People get stuck in, don't understand the theory that needs to be defined by experience. You're 100% right, but it's not just Wing Chun. This is part of human nature. Look, most people are not conscious. I would say 60% of the people are literally NPCs. They just go about their day. They're not conscious people. They're followers, okay? They're filler people. And that sounds fucked up, but it's true. You know? We're designed to be like slave workers, little bees, okay? And within those bees, you have like little leader bees that are there to keep the little collectives in line and get shit done, okay? So there's a part of human nature that for survival wants to be part of an association and a group for safety, like a tribe. And you also want, from a genetic memory, to look at the elder in that group for survival knowledge. What berries don't I eat? What animals are going to attack me? How do I build a fire? Okay? So this is a genetic thing that's inbred into us, and it's very easy for people to fall into these soul traps, whether it's religion or sports or sexual relationships. We all fall victim to this because it's part of our DNA. It's literally inside of us. So I don't want to pigeonhole Wing Chun to apply it to everybody. It's a human element that's being brought into this that's creating that problem. Is that making sense? Okay? It's a human element. It's not just the system. Okay? That's why you have to be very careful. There's this guy Hendrik. This little Chinese guy Hendrik something. He has a pretty big Wing Chun channel. Maybe you know his name? Studying weapons and Taiji training. Okay. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. If you look at the Hendrik Sai something, and he has like 100 fucking videos, this little scrawny little Chinese dude, and he's talking about the problem with Wing Chun and how bad it is and that and what do you have to do to fix it. Meanwhile, this motherfucker is like 100 pounds fucking soaking wet with a brick in his hand, doesn't want to do shit. And I commented being nice to this guy. And I'm like, you know, he said that Wing Chun never wins in a fight, and it's always this and always that. Wing Chun does win in a fight. Wing Chun does work in UFC, okay? And I've showed him videos, and he basically was saying, I'm like, no, I'm trying to help you because you're making yourself look stupid. And on top of it, you're a little bitch, okay? You can't fight, okay? So we have that problem. What do I think about weapons in Tai Chi training? I've said this for the longest time. Tai Chi is the most complete martial art that I've ever seen. Okay? It has every range, because when you look at the other style, look at the Wudang guys. They're throwing all the northern freaking, like, kicks. They're throwing all these flying fucking kicks and, like, roundhouse kicks. They're doing all this shit that people in Yang style say you're not supposed to do. Okay, going into weapons. I was taught that the steps that are not in my Tai Chi form, like from Bagua, are in my sword form. And some of the other movements are in the broadsword form. So I think it's imperative that if you want to have a complete understanding of the system, because of the way those old masters divided the system, you have to learn some of the weapons. You have to at least learn the sword form, because you're not going to have those steps and some of those angles that you're going to need. So I think it's important that you do this, at least learn it once in your life. How you doing, buddy?
Damien, is that you, bro?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing a live YouTube stream for my students here. How you doing?
awesome, man.
Yeah, do you do South Carolina?
Huh?
Would you go up to South Carolina? Just curious.
Hey, what, buddy?
You guys reach South Carolina? South Carolina. Like Clover? Okay.
All right, man. If you need anything, let me know.
I got you, man. Thank you, buddy.
All right, man.
So, you guys talk about that? I gotta figure it out for a minute. Okay, you know what? Let's walk you over to the other side of my pretty little yard while my buddy does his lawn stuff here. Let's see, maybe this will be better. Alright, so, sorry about that. Look. Fuck if I know. Alright. So, we're talking about, what the hell? I'm still learning this live stuff, guys. Don't, cancel. What the fuck is this? Cancel, alright. I got some weird filter shit. Normal, okay, fine. I don't know what the hell's going on. So, Bean, what the fuck is all this? I don't want any of this. Okay, there we go. Can you guys still see me? Everything good? Alright. So yeah, you gotta do the weapons, because if you don't do the weapons, you're gonna miss those steps, and there's a lot of angles and ways you can hit people that you wouldn't think of. For instance, like a lot of the sword form moves that you would think, these upcuts, you actually can use that for grappling. There's a lot of other cool things that are hidden in there. Wing Chun, for instance, the long pole teaches you a lot about spiral energy, and there's things that you would not learn if you didn't do the butterfly knife set and you didn't do the long pole. You know what I mean? So I think you have to at least dabble in it if you're a real practitioner. But what's your real goal? Like, what are your guys' end goal in your training? Do you just want to dabble? You want to feel healthy? Do you want to be able to defend yourself? Or do you really want to have a mastery of the art? Okay? And that's the case, then you have to learn the forms. Because it's like going to school. You know what I mean? Like, what grade are you going to finish in? Alright? I'm not sure how this is going to work. I really hope it saves properly, because I did this hopefully that I don't have to deal with the upload of the videos. So I'm hoping if this works out, I'm going to use this as a format where I'll just do this instead of like making upload videos, because that would be great for me, a lot faster. And also I can just talk to you guys directly and answer your fucking questions rather than sitting here and deep-eating. Alright? Any other questions from anybody? How do I even see who's in here? Because I see there's people in here, but I don't know how to look at it. I don't understand. Oh well. Live chat. I'm sorry. Okay, Hendrik Santos. Thank you. Okay. Now, I want to say, the guy, that's his name, North Manchester Goshen. Okay, cool. So, I want to say that this guy, Hendrik Santos, whatever his name, sorry about that. A lot of the points he's making are 100% correct. And the stuff that I've been teaching for 20, 30 years, okay? Like, he's correct. But the problem is, let's be real, like, I've never seen the guy move, okay? So, I hear a lot of talking, I hear a lot of stuff, and he's correct as a historian. But dude, like, you move, I don't see you move. I don't see any, demos. I don't see any of your students. I don't see, like yourself, like, I don't see anything. There's no proof. And when I was trying to be nice to the guy, I'm saying to the guy, listen, I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying that maybe your English is bad, but you've misspoken. To say that the Wing Chun never works, and no one in the UFC uses it. I don't even fucking do Wing Chun. I'm defending your shit, you moron. Okay? I mean, I did Wing Chun. I did it for a little while as a side thing. I play with my friends. I know the theories. I apply the theories, but I am not a Wing Chun practitioner. I'm not qualified to teach Wing Chun. Okay? It's not my thing. I've taken a lot of it and adapted it, but not my thing. Okay? God, this guy decided to come in. Best fucking time to do his little thing. But anyway, so guys like that, Henry said, are part of the solution and the problem. Because while they think they're helping, they're actually hurting things. And people who pay attention to that and looking in the comments, I don't see anybody who I would be in a fight in the store, I'm getting robbed, or if I'm bleeding out, who's I know can take over and make sure this guy doesn't fucking kill me. Like, you've seen Master Wu on my channel, right? Where I'm doing push-ups with Master Wu. He looks like a frill. I felt that dude's power. If I'm in trouble, I feel confident that Master Wu, if I'm on the floor, he can handle some shit. Okay? At his age, he can still handle some shit. I don't want to hear it because he's old. He does talk a good fight, right? He's talking. And the problem with Hendrik is that he's telling that he is correct. A lot of what he's saying is correct. I don't want to take that away from the guy. Okay? He's a smart guy. He's done his homework. What he's saying is true. I'm not taking that away from him. But to say it and to do it, I was managing a medical school for a while. I've trained doctors. I've done all this. How many of these fucking brainiac doctors are, and I'm not tooting my own horn, okay? I scored 168 to 172 on standard IQ tests. Okay? I'm a pretty fucking smart guy. So when I was a kid, I was a geek. And I said, well, if I'm smart, shouldn't I be able to make myself stronger than everybody else? Shouldn't I be so faster than everybody else? I don't get these geeky people who use the books and all that, and they talk, but then they don't apply it. How many fat doctors do you know? Seriously, how many fat, cigarette-smoking, fucked up doctors have you seen in your life? You see what I mean? That's how I look at him. I look at him as one of these guys who is a brainiac who doesn't apply in his own life, in his own teaching, because he doesn't move very well. So I wanted to make that clear. I'm not disrespecting the guy in that sense, but how do we, he's a good historian from what I've seen. I've only seen maybe 5, 10 clips of videos, I see it passing, and I'll listen here and there, I'll see some stuff. A lot of the stuff he said is very, very true. But he talks a good fucking game and he can't back it up. I want to see him back it up. You know what I mean? So, I guess I was a little offended because I commented on his page that he had made a critical error saying that Win Chun never wins. Ever. Never. All he does is talk after 100 videos. So, okay, it's not just me, right? Because I'm saying this respectfully, I don't know enough about the guy. I don't want to be disrespectful and say some shit I don't know, okay? I'm always going to be honest with you guys, okay? And, everyone has a fucking opinion like an asshole, okay? I have 2 assholes. But he just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. And fortunately, at least the majority of what I've heard him say is exactly applicable to reality. I just don't think he has a chance in fucking hell of him or anybody he knows ever pulling it off. Okay? So when somebody like me, who can help him, I was literally going there to a friend of the guy and saying, listen, I agree with you, and I'm a badass, I'm gonna back you up. And he came off with a fucking attitude, arguing with me. I'm like, you're a little bitch. Okay? You're the reason fucking Win Chun's a problem, because you're a bitch. You don't fucking do nothing with it. Eating bitter, BA? What's a BA? Eating bitter? I don't know what that means. I'll answer your question, but you gotta be a little more. Okay, I don't know what BA means. But one of the things he was explaining, which I always explain this. Oh, that'll work. And I talk about this in all martial arts because this is the universal theory. It's not just Wing Chun. Okay. When you're dealing with somebody, this is, whatever. People want to play this game and chop. I've shown this before. As soon as I touch bridge, I'm gonna rip something off your fucking body and go through you. Okay? He's correct. Okay? He's correct that the application is not practical because it's not dealing in combat warfare and killing people. Okay? And it's just a shame that somebody who has that much time to study has zero practical application. You can tell this guy's soft. I don't mean soft like Taiji. I mean the guy's fucking weak. You know what I mean? So you're talking and talking and talking. Where is your application of your research, bro? See, look, people don't understand. I spent thousands of hours researching martial arts and Tai Chi and applying it. Okay, I actually applied it to get to the level I am where I teach and people trust me as a teacher. Okay, where like professional coaches and they say, oh well, that's pretty interesting. Oh, I didn't see that before. You know what I mean? How you can't do it? So I would think that guys like him, if they came from the perspective of saying that they're historians and not real martial artists, they would do better. But it's kind of this weird, I don't know. So I don't want to make this whole about him, but it's interesting you brought it up. What did he mean? Eat bitter. What did you mean by how do I make this chat come up? He said BA. You mean body odor? I'm new at this live shit, guys. Help me out. Eating bitter said BA question mark. Ah. Okay. So I started, let me grab a stool because I'm going to talk to you guys. I'll explain this. Sorry, just trying to hold my neck up. The phone is kind of weird, okay? So, my training, I'll explain in a second. So, I've been training my entire life. I started boxing when I was about 3 or 4. I did, kickboxing, everything. My real adult training started about 12 years old in the Brownsville Recreational Center. I started doing, right where Mike Tyson grew up. I started doing Aki Jiu-Jitsu, Aki Elmo Root Jiu-Jitsu with Shia Smile. I think it's Hanshi Smiley now. And that was the first time I was trained like an adult, getting the shit beat out of me by a grown-ass man. And I appreciate that for the rest of my life, Now, at that time, that age, I was hanging out with the gangs in the hood, and one of these dudes was like, yo, D. They just called me Karate D back then, okay? I was a little kid, but I was a scary little kid. He's like, yo, D, I know you're a little badass, bro, but yo, I found this guy. He's the truth, bro. He's the truth. I'm like, what do you mean? He brought me to my karate teacher, who basically adopted me. I'm pretty much an orphan, okay? And he adopted me and raised me. So while I was training with him, around between red belt and first down black belts, I don't remember when I started exactly. One of his black belts from the old generation was a guy named Michael Verstenden. He was William C.C. Chen's first or second official certified instructor. Okay? So he showed me the William Chen 60 movement form and gave me William Chen's book. So I took a handful of lessons from him. I was already extremely advanced in martial arts. So at that point in the game, it was, I was soaking it up because I understood the mechanics. I understood everything. I had the book, and I was just, I trained my ass off. So I became pretty proficient very soon, very early. And the thing that got me into his system, he didn't show me shit. He took a phone book, put it on my chest, and punched me. And I thought my fucking back was gonna explode. Okay? Now I was doing competition breaking at that time. I don't think I was in college yet. This is 1995, 96. Yeah, because I was already in college. I was already teaching in college, and I was already doing the Tai Chi form. So this is 1995. I don't want to lie to you guys. Give me a second. Let's just say 95, 96, okay? So I started with him and I was doing that. And then I was just practicing that, I practiced my ass off. The year 2000, 2000, I started renting space. So I started renting space for my school. Let's just do this, guys. Let's just do this. Sorry, this is getting fucking annoying. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So, 1995, I started training with him. He's a black belt my teacher. He's William C.C. Chen's either first or second certified official instructor. And we're in school, Flatlands Avenue. We had, we normally didn't have a real school. We just trained at my teacher's house or in the park or on the beach. And this is one of the few times we had an official school. And he came in and he's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this Tai Chi stuff now, and blah, blah, blah. Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is Tai Chi? I haven't even heard of this shit. And he took this phone book, and I don't know how many of you guys seen a real phone book, it's like this thick, puts it on my chest, and he just went like this. Pop! Not even a full fucking swing. He just went pop, and not a closed fist, nothing, just like that. And I was like, what the fuck was that, bro? Because it felt like my spine was gonna separate from my soul. Okay? And I was doing karate and competition breaking. Like I was able to break a brick. Like I would do like six. I don't want to say I don't, because when I competed, I always use different names, aliases. Okay? But I have records for doing power breaking in certain competitions. So he hit me, and I was like, dude, that was a fucking crazy. What is that? Oh, it's Tai Chi. You gotta show me that shit, bro. So I'm like, I want to know that. So I did that every single day. I was practicing that form every day for, I don't even know how long. I got pretty good at it. But it was nothing to do with push hands or with wrestling. It was all about hitting people as hard as I fucking could. That's all I cared about. I'm from the ghetto, and my life was violent as fuck, and I was like, I need to be able to fucking lay niggas out. I don't give a fuck. To me, martial arts was choosing violence, and Tai Chi was choosing ultimate violence. That's how I learned Tai Chi. I wanted to hit people as hard as I fucking could, with malice. That's what Tai Chi was to me. Okay? So then, fast forward to year 2000, I started renting time from a school called Mind and Body something. And there's a group, I think it's called Patience Tai Chi. And there was a guy there named Avi Schneider. He was like a famous, ish competition Tai Chi guy. Him and this Uncle, they call him, right? What was his name? Bill something. So I trained with Avi on and off. I maybe took 20 lessons because I was teaching at the school, renting time from my class. I was coaching the karate class and sparring team. And when I was there, I would take Avi's class on the side. Because I was like, all right, he's doing the Chen Man Ching form. I don't really know that stuff. So I started doing it with him. And that's my first experience with push hands. I didn't know what the fuck push hands was. To me, Tai Chi was boxing. Tai Chi was hitting people. I did not know anything about push hands. It wasn't even the book that I had from William Chen. That's not what I got from the book. Someone stole the book from me also. So I don't remember exactly what's in it. I saw a question, I'll get to it. I'm sorry, because I want to finish the story about how I learned. Okay? So I spent maybe, I don't know, I was teaching for them on and off a couple of years when I was renting the space. So I took approximately 12 to 20 lessons with Avi on form. Okay? And that was my first experience with push hands. And Avi was this little fucking Jewish guy, and there was this, I don't remember this guy's name, but this motherfucker was like Andre the Giant. This motherfucker was like I'm 6'3", and 200 to 220 pounds, depending on what time of year it is. This dude I was looking up to him, and he was like a big motherfucker. Like he ate way too many donut motherfucker, you know what I mean? And Avi just handled this dude. Like just handled him. I'm like, okay, I didn't know that existed in Tai Chi. I knew what it was. So I started adding that into my karate training. So everything for me with Tai Chi was to supplement my karate training. Now I'm going to fast forward to 2003 or when did YouTube start? So whatever year YouTube started, I started seeing these videos of I'm getting to it. So okay, what kind of okay? I'll answer that question. Let me just finish the story of my Tai Chi training because it makes sense to why my videos are how they are. So 2003 or 4, I'm assuming between 2003 and 2005, whenever YouTube started, I started seeing these fucking videos of these Tai Chi masters. 2007? Okay, whatever it was. I'll go with that. I don't remember. That's probably right, because because I was in the studio on Long Island. So it had to be after 2005. I didn't open the studio 2006. You're probably right. We'll go with 2007, I don't know. So whenever YouTube started, they started these fucking videos of these old Chinese guys. They touch the guy and he bounces like a fucking idiot. And I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Like, I trust you. Whatever the date is, I trust you guys, okay? But I can tell you it's YouTube starting was the kicker. And I see these fucking guys, and they're doing this bouncy fa jing this and the fucking no touch this. I'm like, what the fuck is this garbage? All right? Now, but then I started looking really close. I'm like, wait a second.
Some of these guys, that's not fake. Because I put the video in slow motion, I was analyzing fights my entire life, my job. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking, I'm like, wait a second, okay, there's a trick to this. This is like some kind of magic trick. What's going on? And I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out. And I would have my students come at me, bro. And I had my karate students come at me. And we did this for fucking hours. How did he do that? Let's figure this out. And I would just go over and over and over again until I could figure out how to get it. I wanted to prove him wrong. Okay? So at that point, about a year or two goes by, and now I start to have a real understanding of the internals just from copying the videos and dummy testing on my students. At that point, I started going around to any free Tai Chi class, any meetup, anywhere I can go, and also, I was constantly getting like challenge matches because in those days, martial arts was like, I was in a tough guy community. Everybody wanted, see what we could do, bro. And, we hit each other. It was like, you smoke a blunt, drink, and fucking beat the shit out of each other. It's the culture I lived in. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, okay? I'm not a fucking saint. I'm not one of these like Adam Mindler fucking fake people, okay? I'm gangster, okay? I come from the hood. So, it was just like, this martial arts, like we always used to play with each other. So I was just constantly looking, and then little by little, as time progressed, I started like going back. I was always in Chinatown. I used to hang out with, like, I was married to a Chinese girl for 13 years. I lived in Chinatown for the most part, so I always was in the community on the side. But I was always involved in the hard style stuff. I didn't get involved with Tai Chi stuff. I was like, I see the old people in the park, they're doing a dance. I was like, I didn't, like, what the fuck is that? So I didn't even think to me. And then little by little, I went on this mission. And I think, I don't remember if it was before or after, but what's his name? Damn it. There's a guy from Malaysia. He used to be my Facebook group. He's so fucking chill. And he used to call it walking the corridor, where he would go and he'd have like hundreds of videos of every single person he played push hands with. And I was like, that's what I do. You're like my uncle or some shit, I hope, because he's a really nice guy. I talked to him a couple of times. He does Yukon or something like that. But he has a YouTube channel, I think. After I got banned from Facebook, I lost contact with all my networks. I don't really remember, But that is how that happened. And then I started going to the meetups, and then little by little I finagled my way into these groups.